Hi everyone. Today I'm going to teach you exactly 5 things that you need to know about to become a lovable expert. Let's get started. The first thing that we are going to do is we're going to try to create a new project, and that's step number 1. Plan what you want to create with Lovable. So what is the project about? I'm going to keep it simple. I'm going to create a beautiful project management tool that can have projects, tasks assigned to the projects, and different people assigned to different tasks. If you look at it, what I've done is exactly told what are the core features of my project, right? I want something that can have projects, so very simply it's a project management tool. And then what do I want as features? You want to be pretty explicit, just tell it what exactly you need. Don't just say a project management tool. It will create something crazy that you will probably not be able to use. But very simply, tasks assigned to different projects, different people assigned to the projects and to different tasks. That's it. So that's all I need in the project management tool. But at the same time, I can also do one more thing. I also want a design that I have in mind. So for that, what you can do is go to behance.net, right? This is a place where you find people have created different kind of designs, right? And you can take inspirations from them and just search here whatever you want, right? So I can search project management and I can pick out a project that I like. I kind of like the first one itself, pretty cool. Love the purple color, again, and you can ask it to change the colors also. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a screenshot and just come back here and drop this in, and we're just going to paste it. As you can see, it's now uploading a screenshot. I can just say colors to be dark black with some green neon highlights, dark. Okay, and that's it. And now the only thing I want to do is I don't want to make this project public. I want to keep this project in my workspace. If you are on a free plan, you might not have the option to choose this. You might just want to select that. And that's it. You can also describe your project, but I'm just going to hit enter. Now what Lovable is going to do is actually create a plan. And as you can see, it's now going to, this is just a preview. This was something that they're just showing on all the options that exist. But right now it's spinning up a preview. It's writing all the code that is needed. So you can see here. And then we don't need to care about the code. We are just here and letting it do its thing. It will take roughly 1 to 2 minutes. I'm just going to fast forward that part so that you guys don't get bored and see the output of it. Lovable is spinning up a preview and it looks pretty cool. Like everything that I wanted technically exists. I still don't know how I'm going to add a project. There is a button here, but all this data is just created by Lovable. So this is not, I would say, again, this is just blank data, just dummy data that they have added. I can click on new project and it technically does not do anything right now because this is just like the first front end that they've created. And you can see I can clicking buttons, but nothing is happening. So this is where your technically journey starts at Lovable. Okay, the next steps are going to be iterating over the things that are not working and telling Lovable to do them, because to make sure that they give you a preview fast and don't lose you while it builds everything. As you can see, it also gives you different options here available on what can you be done next. One of the options is master prompting, right? So what I can do is click on chat, and now instead of anything being edited in the tool itself, I'm going to talk to Lovable, right? The Lovable agent, and just say, create a plan to add all the functionality, to store the projects, allow me to create tasks for each of them, and assign different people to different tasks and project. So now it's going to technically not edit the code, but actually create a plan, and it will show up all the functionality here. So you see this thinking mode here. It's going to just again think about it and utilize the models that they are and just come back with it. So you can see it's reading through everything and then will finally come up with suggestions. The best part with Lovable is it is going to go through all of your code to actually understand what we're talking about, right? And it has come back with this whole idea. So enable Lovable Cloud and implement the authentication system, create user profiles, create user roles, and everything else, right? Now, everything that's talking about is this is just a front end. This is just a website. It does not do anything. As you can see, I click here and nothing happens. So that's where you need to click this beautiful button, which is the Lovable Cloud version. What does it do now is, before you have to integrate everything yourself, now you can just click on this and enable the cloud. Once Lovable is done with the plan, I can come here and click on enabling cloud, which enables a place to store information and everything else. I can also stop it to speak anything, but I just wanted to complete, so that it creates a plan, and then I can just ask it to implement the plan properly. As you can see, we got the button available here. So I'm going to click on enabling the cloud, and now it's going to enable the cloud for the project automatically. I don't need to do anything. It's just technically again, everything is already built in. I just have to click that button. So I'm just going to select always allow, and it's already getting approved, and now it has added cloud to it. Nothing's going to change right now. We still have to ask it to implement the plan. that's going to take a second. It has a full backend, right? So you can see I still can't do anything, but what I can do now is simply implement the plan creator, start with the basic features of creating a project and adding tasks. That's it. And once you say that, because we went through the step of creating a basic dashboard and then going ahead and creating a plan, now you can ask it to just implement the plan, because now it knows what plan we are talking about. It will go ahead and start implementing it. So this is the easiest way to get started, rather than you spending enough time to prompt every step of the way, because the point is you will make mistakes if you have not built applications before, and you don't need to. You can just ask it to do the stuff, review it, and just implement the plan. Now it's going to obviously again ask you to modify the database and everything else. I would request you to switch this to ask each time, but if you're just building it as first time and you want to experiment around, I'm just going to select always allow and select again very simply allow. Now it will automatically be able to edit the database, add tables and everything. So coming to databases, until this is happening, if I just come here and click back again, we don't get the enable cloud option anymore. We land up here in overall, and now you can select database and you can see different database tables created. What is a database? If you don't know, it's very simply a place to store all the information. So every time you use any kind of application online, you just technically are using a database. Database is just everything is stored there. So think about it as a bottle of water, and you're just storing information in this in just different formats. So instead of filling this with water, you're filling it with Lego blocks or something like that. Just use your imagination. But that's it, what databases. Databases are mostly structured in a table format, and this is what we have here. So profiles is where we will store user profiles and information like that, right? We will have project members, we will have other projects here and everything else, right? It's literally just information that is going to be stored. Here you can also see users, right, and signups. I'll come and explain the whole dashboard in a second, but right now that's what database does, and it's automatically creating everything that we need to do to utilize the database. So that means creating the tables, linking them up, and everything else that is needed. I'm just going to come back to preview and let it do its job. You don't need to do anything at this point until all of this is completed, because this roughly takes another 3 to 5 minutes. Let's just fast forward that part. So finally, all of this is done, and it ran for around 2.5 minutes or something. You can now have a sign-in page automatically created by Lovable, because that's part of the plan, right? How do you store projects if you don't even have a user profile? So we're going to come here and simply sign up, right? Again, I'm just going to put a test email. You can put anything here technically, right? So I'm just going to put this is not my real email, guys, and just put password. That's it. And now it's all done, and we should be able to log in. Great, we are logged in. And let's see what works, right? Because the point is, I just gave it those instructions and asked it to follow plan. The first thing is good, that the dummy data has gone away and we have actual real data. So let's see. Let's create a project. I'm just going to say Lovable tutorial. Hopefully you guys are liking this. If you do, please subscribe, and then you can click on create, and then you get infinite requests for a relation to project members. Okay, so there is an error, and you will get this at some point in time. So what we can do is technically just copy this whole error, or you can in case you can't copy it, just simply screenshot this, give it to Lovable and say fix this error while I'm creating projects, and you will get probably a good amount of them. If you are creating a full-blown project, I expect you to get at least 10 to 20 errors around proper project, and that's fine, I believe, again, because it's normally that's the part of the job. Again, don't think that it's a completely foolproof tool. You will have to debug, and I believe that's completely fine. Don't have to worry about that. So I've given it the error. Technically also Lovable will show you an option to automatically fix errors. I don't know why it did not show up, but that's where you can just let it do its job. It's going to figure out the error, but let's try to see if we can still try to create. And if I do this on hold and say test and see, let's see, yeah, we still get the same issue. So it's probably something related to the database, but it's fine. Let Lovable figure it out, and it will do. Till then, let me walk you through the whole dashboard of everything that has been done. Okay, so very simply, here you have the database, right? And it takes a second to load. You have all the database and everything else. Here you have the users, right? All the people who sign up here will be shown. It takes some time to load, but as you can see, we have one user, that is me. I just signed up in front of you guys, and you can see the email ID and details here. And I will show you how you can launch this up to anyone in the world, and they can also sign up. Now, if you just see here, you have the storage. Technically, in case you want them to upload files and stuff, that will be available here. And these are edge functions, which I will tell you about in a second, but just want to tell you this is technically when you want to implement some kind of a business logic. So for example, every time someone adds someone as a member in a task, they should get an email. That would be an edge function. And we'll come to AI also, which we're going to do in a second. But you can see here, now it's trying to create and modify the database, right? And we also have got a security error, which we can just simply ask it to update and figure it out. So all user email address exposed to any logged in users, this should be free and we should be able to update this. Let's see, update, it's going to do that. And this security tab is something that they created new, so that stuff like this should not go away, because this is pretty big, right? Again, technically anyone can just see all the emails, which should not exist. So you need to make sure that your errors and everything are resolved and you get this security scan there. So again, it's super important that, like, all of these things exist, and Lovable is really trying to be the single platform that you don't need to figure out anything. Just build apps, just build what you want and they will take care of everything else. Okay, so it does say that they fixed the project concat creation error. Let's see, I can click, it's still running, so let this all run, then we'll see what happens. Okay, finally I got like around couple of errors, but that's fine. Like, you just like, keep asking it to change it. Honestly, Lovable can improve this and I think they will, but I was able to create a project. So very simply, let's try to create another one. I can just start Google, like, again, and at this and click on create project. And as you can see the projects here, though I don't know why. Okay, you can click to expand and collapse and then add a task. Let's see if this works. Okay, so tutorial, subscribe to Akshat, right? Again, that's the first task. Please go ahead and subscribe if you like this. Okay, I'm creating task. It did create it. I'm happy it did. And let me just show you, like, how the notifications are coming here. So every time I task something, you get like this beautiful notification here. And I can, like, checkbox this, perfect, and it completes 100%. So finally, we have like a tool where we have like, okay, the number of tasks, number of projects, and everything else. But now if you are able to create this is technically how every project works in Lovable. You can create like literally something like this as you want. So you can create a project management tool, you can create something else, you can create a website, you can create anything that you want. One thing that I want to do here is I wanted to create a beautiful landing page for the whole tool with options to get started with, like, okay, I'm just going to create for the whole tool, right? Again, and that's it. And it's going to, like, now start creating a landing tool, but you finally have, like, all the projects and tasks. The only thing that I don't see right now, at least, is I can click to edit the task, and that is something that you can ask it to do. I can delete the task, and that's fine. But the point is, if I go ahead and click on add task, I can give details. I can give the due date, the priority, and the status, but I can't assign the task to someone. If you just see that, that's not an option right now. So that is something that, again, just from a Lovable perspective, even though that was part of our first brief, you have to keep it rating. So you can go ahead and ask it to add more features as you want. Okay. Now, once the landing page is done, I want to create another feature, which is technically we should be able to talk to the projects. So, like, again, add an AI chat feature where I can ask it, okay, tell me all the tasks that are assigned to you or something like that, or help me complete the task. And for doing that, we'll come here and select on AI, right? Now to do this, let this get completed and then we'll be able to click on enable, because right now it's still running. I'll be able to enable AI. So you come back to the cloud option and you'll be able to enable here. And this is the secrets option. In case you want to add other APIs and you need API keys from there, you'll store them. This, I don't think, like, right now when you're getting started with Lovable, you'll need any of this, but just from a perspective. And logs is technically where everything that's happening in your application shows up here. Like, what happened, who got authorized to connect and everything else, and you have all the details available here. So with that, let's just let this run and then we'll enable AI and add an AI feature. And everything that you need to see about your dashboard, you can see here. With this, we'll also come to the security part, but give it a second. But just for, like, recap perspective, you can see everything that you want here in the overview. So you just click on cloud and you see everything. And finally, we also have got a beautiful project landing page, like, again, pretty cool. Like, again, it's pretty standard now with AI. Like, again, this is how every landing page looks like, but this looks pretty cool, like, not bad, like, and ton of dummy data. So let's say we click on sign in. It already makes you sign in. Let's see if the logout functionality is working. Perfect, it does work. Let's see if I can sign up again, log in again, gmail.com. And perfect, I have finally, like, again, got this. So you get all this information and then you can add it. Now let's just go to cloud and actually enable the AI function. So I'm going to click on enable AI, and now it will enable AI for this project. Now the only thing I want to add is just a chat functionality where I can ask it details about my projects or the tasks, and just, like, kind of like a simple functionality that allows me to talk about our projects. As you can see, it will automatically allow everything from the itself and add the details that are needed, and we just need to wait for it to be enabled, and then we can ask it to actually add a feature. So now, as you can see, it already allows you to create edge functions, which I talked to you about in start, but we'll actually do that. Also, just remember that, like, everything here will be visible is like, with a cost. Like using AI comes at a cost, but they give you a decent amount of free functionality or like, free usage. So you can check that out. But right now, I think just from a testing perspective, this is pretty cool that you can get started here. So what I'm going to do is create a AI chat assistant that allows me to talk about my projects and see what tasks are pending, etc. Okay, and I can do that, and let's see what it comes up to be. Technically, it should just be able to create an edge function which just allows me to talk to my projects, and that's it. It should not take more than like a minute or so, and we'll be done. Okay, so it finally created the feature, and let's test it out. Okay, so we are here and we can ask it, tell me about my projects, and let's see what comes out. But very simply, like, again, you can see it also gives you some options. Okay, so Lovable, this project is active and currently has 0 tasks. Awesome. Can you help me add tasks? And you can just like, have the conversation, but like, very simply, it can give you information and everything else. But obviously, you can ask Lovable to add a feature where I can add tasks directly from the chart rather than doing anything else. And that's as simple as just like, asking it to do that. There's nothing else that you need to do. But with this, you have an AI feature, you have a project board, you also can log out and come to like, your page. But the one thing that is missing right now is it's still here. Like, it's not like something that I can give you access to, but I would like to do that. So the first step to doing that is clicking on the publish button, and you have the website address here. So you can change this to whatever you want. Like, again, I can make it project tool by Akshat, right? Again, and save this as a domain. And as you can see, we are using projecttool.lovable.app. If you want to add your own domain, you can do that. You can click on custom domain and connect a new domain or buy a domain directly from here. It's pretty simple. Again, just like, connecting a domain means you buy something from Namecheap or GoDaddy and bring it here, or you can just buy a domain directly from here. I would suggest this one option because you will probably get it cheaper from online. And then you can change the website information. I've just added here project management tool by Akshat. You can add an image if you want. It's the image that will show up if you share the link with someone on social media, right? And that's it. With that, we are pretty much done. And technically, we can click on publish, right? I do want to review the security options right now, but I'm just going to click publish anyway, just from the format. I would suggest you to go ahead and actually review the security. And once you review this, you can see the warnings, and technically we can ask it to fix all of this, right? But now, as you can see, the publish is live, and we can open this, and now it will open up in the front page. Let's see what actually comes up. I technically want it to be the landing page rather than anything else. It takes a second to load and everything else, but this is all hosted on Lovable. So the point is, you don't even have to worry about anything. You can literally, and I'm going to drop this link in the description so you guys can check that out as the tool. But yeah, you can see manage project with neon powered efficiency. Not a great copy, obviously, but like, again, it's all AI created. But you actually have like, again, a website where you can sign in, get started, and I'm just going to sign in with my own details. That one created. We're going to come here and come here. As you can see, it actually shows up the projects and everything else. I can create a new project, add tasks, and everything that we have created also exists now live for anyone to use. So with that, this will be like, again, available in the description. You guys can go ahead and check that out as a tool. You also have a button here that you can see edit with Lovable. You can create a copy of this project in your own Lovable instance and just copy this if required and utilize it as required. So, but with that, we have completed the project, and you can go ahead and edit this and create your own projects. And I would love to see what you guys create. So do go into the comments and put in the links so that I can test out your projects out. And if you want to learn more about other tools where you can utilize to build apps, click on this video here. And if you really enjoy the video, please hit that subscribe button. It helps you out a lot, and I would love to see you in the next one.